So which movie opened last weekend that's being criticized by the usual suspects for committing cultural appropriation? Hint, it was a cartoon. So Wes Anderson's animated feature Isle of Dogs scored a very impressive 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. It features a talented cast providing the voice work, including Bryan Cranston, Bill Murray, and Jeff Goldblum. And it looks beautiful. Check it out.
The Japanese archipelago, 20 years in the future. Canine saturation has reached epidemic proportions. An outbreak of dog flu rips through the city of Megasaki. Mayor Kobayashi issues emergency orders, calling for a hasty quarantine. Trash Island becomes an exile colony. The Isle of Dogs.
I don't think I can stomach any more of this garbage.
Well, you can already see what the problem is here because it is 2018. If an English-American white man like Anderson depicts those of Japanese culture, it is automatically labeled cultural appropriation as opposed to cultural homage by various social justice warriors who can't possibly go a single week without complaining about a supposed slight to any identifiable group that is not white and/or Christian. I won't go into their lame-o arguments about how Isle of Dogs supposedly dehumanizes Asians. It's not worth your time, folks. But it's hard to imagine that even the most spineless snowflake could find this film offensive. And even if Isle of Dogs is indeed guilty of cultural appropriation, so what? Cultures have been appropriated since the dawn of man. Isn't imitation the sincerest form of flattery? But it would appear we are at a juncture, at least according to the politically correct nattering nabobs of negativity, that if you make a movie set in Asia, then the cast and crew must all be Asian. If you're planning to hop aboard the Black Panther franchise, better make sure you have the right skin color, even though the Black Panther character was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, two Jewish white kids from New York. But here's what I say to the milquetoast millennials and their allies in crying about cultural appropriation in Hollywood these days. You might think you know cultural appropriation, but you don't know jack. Indeed, there are examples throughout the decades of truly egregious or at least embarrassing examples of cultural appropriation, but we're talking about going back a half century or so. And because I am trying to render a public service here, here are my 3 examples of the most outrageously miscast actors when it comes to portraying members of a different culture. Now, my second runner-up is Warner Oland, a Swedish-American actor who portrayed the fictional Hawaiian Asian detective Charlie Chan. Here's Oland in the 1936 flick Charlie Chan at the Olympics, which unfortunately does not end with Detective Chen and his #1 son kicking the crap out of Hitler.
You're a fine officer, Mr. Chan. You went through with your duty even though it meant risking your son's life.
Better for Oriental to lose life than to lose face.
So Confucius say this movie never get made today. Now, my first runner-up in terms of outrageous cultural appropriation miscasting is 1968's Stay Away Joe, featuring Elvis Presley as a half-breed. That's the studio's descriptor, folks, not mine. And Thomas Gomez and Burgess Meredith as full-fledged Native American Indians. Yeah, that's right, the Penguin played an Indian.
Mama!
I can explain everything.
Oh, Lord!
I forgot to warn you about that.
Start the ceremony.
I gotta run.
Wow, who knew things were so wild and wacky down on the res during the swinging 60s? And from Indians to cowboys, if you thought John Wayne's entire career was about portraying riflemen in the Wild West, well, he went far east for his role as Genghis Khan, yes, the Mongol Khan, in the 1956 Bulgarian Feta Cheese Fest known as the Conqueror.
I share your taste in women, Targetai.
but not in blood. Farewell, Tartar woman.
Wow, is it just me, or do you expect Genghis Khan to finish every sentence with pilgrim? But that's my number one flick when it comes to celluloid cultural appropriation. Bottom line, maybe those flicks and various other films from yesteryear were guilty of wince-inducing moments of cultural appropriation. But Isle of Dogs? Really? If you truly think this animated film is guilty of such a slight, please, get a life already. For the Rebel.media, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, you may have heard the Rebel has a brand new app. Please download that app and take the Rebel with you wherever you go.